Tulaipa Iono Shalele Malialegoi HRPP disputed between Tulaipa Iono Shalele Malialegoi and Naomi Matafa. General elections were held in Samoa on 9 April 2021. Before the dissolution of the Legislative Assembly of Samoa on 3 March 2021. Prime Minister Tulaipa Iono Shalele Malialegoi had ordered a commission of inquiry into the absence of opposition politicians and their alleged treasonous acts in misleading the public and campaigning against the government. In March 2021, Naomi Matafa, a former member of the ruling Human Rights Protection Party and a former deputy prime minister, was elected to lead the main opposition party, Fatuatua Iler Atua Samoa UA2C. Tulaipa led the HRPP into the election. Preliminary results showed a tie between the HRPP and FAST, with each winning 25 seats in the Legislative Assembly. This was confirmed in the final count. However, the Samoan Electoral Commission subsequently determined that, with women comprising 9.8% of the elected members, the results did not fulfill a constitutional provision which required that at least 10% of seats be held by women. As a result, an additional female candidate, Aliaimalemanu Alofa Tuau of the HRPP, was declared elected, increasing the parliament's membership to 52 and the HRPP's seat total to 26. Following this, Tula Iosifo Bonifacio, an independent member, announced that he would side with FAST, creating a hung parliament with both the HRPP and FAST holding 26 seats. However, on 17 May 2021, the Supreme Court of Samoa overturned the decision of the Electoral Commission, cancelling the additional seat and ruling against Tulaipa's request for a new election. This gave FAST a slim majority, allowing them to declare victory and select Matafa as Samoa's first female prime minister. Tulaipa refused to accept the results and instead suspended parliament, preventing Matafa from being sworn in and plunging the country into a political crisis. The HRPP stated that they would not permit a government to be formed until all 28 election petitions have been heard. The HRPP secured a landslide victory in the 2016 election, winning 35 of the 49 seats in the Legislative Assembly. 12 of the 13 successful independent candidates in parliament subsequently joined the HRPP, bringing the party's seat total to 47. This prevented Totua Samoa, who only retained 2 seats, from obtaining the 8 seats required for recognition as a parliamentary party, therefore leaving Samoa without an official opposition. An extra seat was added in parliament to comply with the gender quota. An independent MP, Olo Fitiwai, joined Totua Samoa, giving the party 3 seats. The incumbent HRPP government was under criticism for its mishandling of the 2019 Samoa measles outbreak. In May 2020, MP Lali Layueta Polataivo was expelled from the HRPP after voting against the controversial Land and Titles Amendment Bill. Polataivo announced that he had resigned and later formed the FAST party to contest the 2021 general election. His departure from the HRPP was later followed by other members of the HRPP caucus including Naomi Matafa, who resigned as Deputy Prime Minister, also in protest of the Land and Titles Bill. In August 2020, Polataivo successfully contested the by-election in his constituency of Gagaifomuga No. 3, and was re-elected to Parliament as the FAST party's sole MP. Matafa, who was invited to join FAST upon her resignation from the HRPP, opted to remain an independent. She would not join FAST until after the dissolution of Parliament. At the dissolution of the 16th Parliament, the HRPP occupied 44 seats. Totua had 2 seats, FAST had 1 and the remaining 3 were held by independents. The 2021 elections saw 51 members of the Fono elected from single-member constituencies by first-past-the-post voting. Universal suffrage was introduced in 1990, permitting Samoan citizens over the age of 21 to vote in person. Candidates were required to be at least 21 years of age, heads of their families and resident of the country for at least 3 years prior the nomination date. Civil servants and people with mental illness were ineligible to stand as candidates. people convicted for bribery or an electoral offense, and people given a prison sentence of more than 2 years were also ineligible. The Constitution Amendment Act 2013 ensures a minimum of 10% of seats in Parliament are reserved for women. 5 parties were originally expected to contest the elections: the HRPP, FAST, the Totua Samoa Party, the Samoa First Party, and the Samoa National Democratic Party. In May 2020, another party, the Tumua Mapuliono, registered for the elections. In July 2020, Prime Minister Tulaipa Iono Shalele Malualegori confirmed that he would be competing in a record 5th election. 200 candidates were nominated for the election. After electoral challenges were heard, the number dropped to 198 to 113 for the HRPP, 50 for FAST, 14 for